Hello and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. We love a Sunday special, right, Jordana?
We do. How's everything?
You sound like pumped about it.
We love it. We love it.
We just did a long episode.
Yeah.
These take
we put our heart
energy.
and soul into this.
everything.
And, it's January 21st when this
I
comes
can't
out.
even believe it.
It's still this month.
We're still in this. It's a long month. I'll be at my brother's bachelor party
Oh, amazing.
that I helped put together. He didn't want a bachelor party.
No.
He wanted
Right,
just
you said that.
a hang.
Why? Is he
I don't know.
not a bachelor party guy?
He's got no friends. He's a loser. No. He's he just was like not into it.
Okay.
He was like, so we're going to Tampa. So I'm in Tampa right now golfing
That's going to be great.
with my dad and my uncle. So we're there.
Are you going to surprise him with anything?
I guess at this point I can say it.
out.
Well, we have reservations at two places that were kind of iconic Tampa places.
Okay.
One is like this steakhouse. It's called Burn Steakhouse. It's like this place. It's tough to get a reservation. Yeah, and they have a dessert room.
Ooh.
You can go upstairs to a different place to get dessert.
That sounds fun.
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
But we're
be so
playing golf. I
surprised.
know, surprise. I also got hats made.
Okay.
Growing up,
What do the hats say?
my dad's friend who we call Uncle Steven, he used to always give Harry shit because Harry growing up as a baby would go, Harry do, Harry do, Harry do. He'd always want to do it.
Okay.
So
That's cute.
Uncle Steven used to call, literally he would get so annoyed. He'd go, Harry do. Like that was like his nickname. He'd call him
Okay.
Harry do.
Like Dio?
Like Harry do.
Okay.
It became
Does.
one
Okay.
word, so the hats
It's
say,
inside joke.
it's a very
Okay.
inside joke. It's so now the hats say Harry do crew,
Oh, that's cute.
which is fun.
It's like that's like in the British call a bachelorette party a hen do.
a hen do.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like the stag do and the hen do.
I've heard stag party
Yeah.
from my British friends.
It's a
hen do.
Hen do. So it's kind of along the bachelor party lines.
I like
Harry
this.
do. Hen do.
Harry do crew. So
Harry's bachelorette.
that's right. So we have his bachelorette party, and it'll be fun. My dad we're playing golf, and I'm like new to the golf game.
Mhm.
So he's always like, yeah, you better not keep us back. Like there's a lot of pressure to play.
Is
well.
it like in a time-wise thing?
Well, it's like, you want to
Embarrass
play
you?
when you play golf, you don't want to keep the group behind. You don't want to take forever,
Right.
And I hook the ball, and I've been trying to get lessons, and then I don't get the
Embarrassing
lesson.
the whole family.
Yeah.
Your parents
so it's
retired
just us
to
fighting.
Your parents retired to a country club. You've got to pull your weight.
Listen, it's weighing heavily on me.
This is
so.
the definition of the most first world problem you could possibly have. I have to up my golf game so that I can fit in at mom and dad's golf country club.
That's right. That's right. That's the hardest thing in my life right now.
I mean,
That and this horrific drinking problem. But there's just two things.
they're equally weighted.
Right. Those are the same thing.
You
What's
know,
going on with you?
In 2024, those are resolutions.
I'm also a month away from being today. A month from today is the worst day of the year.
Wow. Countdown begins. Almost your
begins.
birth month.
Almost
Big plans for the big 3-9?
3-9.
3-9 is like
It's haunting.
is it a little bit?
A little bit. 39. 40, there's a celebration. Look at the life I've created.
39 is like you've got 1
Fuck.
year to do everything you wanted to do.
Right.
in
You
your
better
30s.
get fucking for real. It's never hit me age until now.
Why?
I guess this is, it's not a concern.
40 it should be the 40 age should hit you then.
Well, I remember my dad turning 40. That's the
Right.
weird part.
It's weird. When anyone talks about turning 40, they're always like, and I remember my own dad turning 40. It's
Right.
Like, 'cause it's
Well, that's the thing. When you turn 30, you're you're generally,
right. Still a
a
kid.
fucking blob.
Right.
You don't remember
You're 40,
that.
you could have a family. Your kid could remember you turning 40.
Right.
It's crazy, yeah.
Maybe my kid will be like, I remember when my dad turned 80. I don't know. It's like all, I've never,
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna hopefully not die.
Same
Same thing I
you
do every
year.
night.
Well, what day?
Cry
is the
alone, hugging a body pillow.
What day is February 21st?
Well, I'm actually. What day is it?
It's a Wednesday. I
A
think.
Wednesday,
Wow,
the
you're gonna be
worst
right
day of
here.
the week.
You're gonna be in this room. We'll have
In
to
the-
celebrate.
We get the
to bring in
cake.
some cupcakes.
We have to sing it sadly for the saddest day
Make
of the
sure
year.
that the cake has a 39 on it.
No, don't do it. No, no.
Stop. Stop.
No, it's my 21st again.
Out.
Right.
Sorry. That's left over from the last episode.
Out. Caring about our age. Out. Do they hear themselves? Do they hear themselves? These losers. I'm so sick of. I'm too online. I need to get offline.
Is that could be right? You're 39. You're 40.
Being online.
When you
Out.
when you turn 39, I'm going to say the thing that annoying people say. It is your beginning on your 40th year.
Oh, that's an
So you are
annoying
on
thing.
your 40th year.
I'm already on my phone.
Yes.
Why? Yeah.
When you turn 40, you're already done with 40 years on this earth.
Talk about the most miserable person at the
That's
birthday
me.
party. Are you kidding?
Actually,
You hold up your calculator, your TI 83 plus. Well, if we're really gonna do a little math, you've already been here 40 years.
that's me.
Fun birthday.
You're embarking on your 40th year on this planet.
That's right. So that's
Well,
where I'm at in
you
life.
look young, spring chicken.
I thought,
A lot of years left in
I
you.
guess hair helps me.
Yeah, you got a lot of hair.
Hair helps
More
me.
hair than the average 40-year-old, I would guess.
It's the only
Man.
thing I got. I know, yeah, hair is a helpful thing. No, that's been a thing. My family hasn't
You're
gone
aging
without.
well.
Am I?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would
needed
say
that.
so. Well, it's funny because I know that. I know how you age because I feel like you have a every comedy show I've been to has a headshot of you from like 15 years ago.
Oh my god.
So
I've told you that story, right?
I think so.
Where they
Yeah.
had my headshot next to the stage, but they used an old one. So there's a guy in the crowd who's like, literally, his heckle was, "How long ago was that picture?" And I was like, did you feel deceived by the marketing? I wasn't, a fuckable comic. I had this whole, I put up the video. It was like crazy.
Very funny. Yeah.
And I'm mad at the club. Why would you do this to me?
They probably just Googled you and it was like the first one that came
When
up.
they put up an old headshot, it looks like I care.
Right. That's the issue.
That's the issue.
Yes.
It looks like I'm fucked up about my age.
It's like a dating
and-
app. Right. It's like if someone else could pick your dating app picture, it'd be like, oh, he thinks he looks whatever.
Right. This is how he thinks he looks, and that's embarrassing.
Right. But I don't
So.
think anyone's thinking that. And they've updated it. And I'm saying like, you look good.
Thank you.
I think you're aging well.
Thank you.
Aging gracefully.
So you think I look 25?
Sure.
Don't do this to me.
Sure.
So
How old do you? That's the worst
Ah,
person.
I hate that.
How old do you think I am?
100.
It's a safe answer.
How old? Yeah, no. How old do you think I am? Just anyone says that from now on, everyone should just go unfuckable.
I think I told you I was at a wedding and one of my friends was pregnant. And one of the husbands comes up and whatever, I guess she's talking about her pregnancy. He goes, how many months are you? How many weeks are you? Wait, let me guess. I'm like, do not
Oh my god.
do this.
Right. Save yourself.
Why would you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're not going to play that game. Yeah.
That's wild.
I saved him.
Yeah.
He'll never know.
Listen, if people want to come hear me complain on the road, I'm on the road. Okay, here are the dates.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm a coming. Buffalo. When does this come on?
The 21st.
Buffalo, New York, Boston, Toronto, Chicago, Minneapolis, Royal Oak, Boise, Olympia, Vancouver, Dallas, New Orleans, Charleston, Denver, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Nashville. Okay.
JaredFreed.com.
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 Tickies.
Should we get into our episode?
Should we? What's going on with you on January 21st?
I'll be home
When's your girls' trip?
March 21st.
January is a long month, huh? I
Right?
feel like we talked about this girls'
We've
trip
been in
8 years ago.
January forever. It was
Yeah.
last week.
It's crazy.
It truly is. Just feels like the longest. We're recording this on the 10th. It's like
Right. Well,
I feel like it's been a bit.
It's got every bit of a month. There's no
Right.
there's no days off. There's like
I think there's Martin Luther King.
Martin
Day.
Luther King, and then really that's it. And
Yeah.
just staring into winter. You know, the February.
It's long.
Right.
It's cold. There's nothing to look forward to in this month.
It's a good reason to share this podcast with a
Yes.
friend. They need it. They're sitting there staring out the window, tears streaming down their cheek. They have nobody.
It's cold.
Give them the podcast.
There was a storm. Go for it.
There was a storm.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
Hi, J&J. I know y'all have had some fun discussions on the ick, but my question is, what is the ick?
Was this email just to depress me?
Did you not watch the special?
The special has a full
God damn it.
explanation. 37 and single.
Get out of here.
But it's really my 38th year.
I'm sorry. I didn't
It's
mean
on
it.
Netflix.
I didn't mean it. Is it intuition? Is it God sending us a message? Or is it something to push through? I met this adorably sweet gentleman on Bumble, and I had a few little concerns early on, but he was by far the best guy I've dated in probably 10 years. I definitely found him attractive. We got along great. He was consistent, treated me very well. One night we were at the movies, and the ick just came upon me suddenly. I panicked and obsessed for days about what to do. During that time, I got strong but mixed opinions from my girlfriends. Some said to push through if I liked him, while others told me it was my intuition. One even said it was God sending me a message that this person wasn't right for me. So it made me wonder,
She's got a voodoo friend.
what would J&J have to say about this? Is the ick God sending a message or just a temporary feeling that can be overcome? Looking forward to y'all's thoughts. Big ick energy. She doesn't even say what the ick was.
Right. Just
Or she's
the
like,
movies.
it ick. She was just not into him anymore.
Right. Now, I do think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, it's okay. I gave a pretty good explanation,
You did.
thoughtful response to what the ick is from my end.
Yes.
I don't understand the ick as a man.
You don't understand being turned off?
I understand being turned off if we want to look at it as turned off, turned on. But like this undeniable feeling that I can't fuck this person ever again. Because the ick to me is always like, it comes down to like, I'm just not attracted to them physically anymore. And it feels like it comes from a lot of women because they push, again, the way she wrote this email is exactly why she got the ick.
Right.
Like to say, and I rolled my eyes if you're watching on YouTube, he was by far the best guy I've dated in probably 10 years.
You don't even know him.
Also, I guess you'll do is kind of the tone of that sentence to me.
Right.
You know, like sweet gentleman on Bumble. I had a few concerns early on, but he's the best I've had in 10 years.
Right.
So I guess I'll keep going. And it's like, we underrate excitement. We underrate, like the idea that if you're pushing yourself to go on a date, the ick is more.
Right. Because the things she likes about him are not qualities of his personality. It's like, we got along great. He was consistent, treated me very well.
Right.
Which
That
is
could have
like-
been anyone.
Right.
And then, so it makes sense.
Important things. Not important things. But
They're
makes
kind of
sense.
the
It wasn't
baseline of
she
what I
like
want
she was
from
like,
someone.
he was so hot. I was I guess you said I found him attractive.
If a man described, and this doesn't happen, if a man described the person he was dating in these terms, it would be kind of insulting.
Got
You know,
along
I-
great. She was
She was,
consistent, treated me very well.
And she's the best girl I've seen in 10 years, so I figured, why not? Like I don't think it would be.
I mean, and you say that with that tone. If he said the best woman I've dated in 10 years. He wouldn't say I definitely found her attractive.
I just don't think
Did you?
What?
I'm saying like to him.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah.
Like I just don't think this is. You rarely hear men say, I wasn't sure on the first date. I really wasn't into her at first.
Right.
And
You never hear that.
she kind of annoyed me. Like that. Like
Well, that's the thing. Men, it's like, I think it's much more, the sexual part of it is just much bigger, much earlier, and it's very different for women.
It's
That's why
visceral.
there's the ick.
yeah, and I think when she's like, it just came over me. It's like, no, you'd had it.
Mm-hmm.
You were on dates with someone that you weren't really excited about, and I think pushing it off to this like this thing, the ick, it kind of like
Well, it gives it a black and white thing, which, as we've said before, is like something that women like to feel like he's in or he's out.
right.
And because no one likes to be on the fence about someone, or in the middle of anything. That's the worst situation to be in. Is like not fully in, not fully out.
Right.
And so I think when that happens, you have to be. There comes a point where you're like, I have to decide, and that's when the ick comes over you because it's
Right.
like if I'm not fully in, I need to make myself be fully out.
Mm-hmm. And then you're at the movies and you're like, look how he eats his popcorn.
Right.
And
That
then-
moment you've decided.
And and that gives you kind of like a tangible
Permission
reason
to
and
be like, I'm out. Yeah.
Permission's the great word.
We don't want to throw away.
Right. She goes to her friends. Like
Right. Men don't want to throw away leftovers, and women don't want to throw away perfectly good food. Right.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
it.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Right. So why would I get rid of it?
Yeah. It would have to be like molding at every turn for me
Right.
to toss it.
Right. Because I know what it is.
Right. And I don't know if there's going to be any better food coming.
There might not be no food ever again.
Yeah.
It's not a great mentality.
No.
I think if like, and again, the whole 10 years, like the time that you're putting on it, like, again, I'm very lucky, and I'm giving this perspective as a guy of this like, time is not something I'm like acknowledging at 27. So many 27-year-olds write in, I've been single for 6 years. Like, I've never really spoken in those terms.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. It's like your words are like spells.
Mhm.
That's your reality.
Right.
And that's how you're dating, even if that's not like the objective reality. Your reality is your reality.
Right. And I think she needs a perspective change.
Yeah.
I've been single 10 years. He's the best I've met in 10 years. How about I really like this one guy? Not in relation to the failures of
Right.
your dating life
Well, that's the thing.
preempting
It
this.
feels like uncomfortable. You feel like you're doing the wrong thing when you reject someone that's not awful. Because if it's hard to date, you're like,
Right.
why would I? You know what I mean? Like you have to justify it to yourself, and I think that's kind of why the ick was invented.
Yeah, and that's why, like, when I see a lot of those memes, it's like you see the bars in the ground, like look how low the bar is for men, and it's like there's a lot of when I see that, I'm like, yeah, you did it to
Put us
yourself,
there.
like I don't really get offended by those jokes. I go, okay, I get it,
Mm-hmm.
I just
The bar is low.
the bar is low.
The bar
I mean,
is low. Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
in this emailer's, the bar's low for this emailer.
Yeah. Well, that's
I think
because
she deserves a higher bar.
The bar is low because again, there's like the differences in like time constraints and like other things that women have to consider that men do not.
Fair. I'm not like.
I understand the reason for why the bar is low.
I understand it as well.
Lower for sure.
Right, but I think it's okay you have to kind of be okay with giving yourself a higher bar than this person's.
Oh,
giving
I totally
themselves.
agree.
I think that's a hard advice, easy advice to give, hard to take.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm that way sometimes too. I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Why not?
Right.
It's just a night, just one date, just whatever. You're wasting your own time.
Raise the bar.
I think that's I think you get less of. I think people who get the ick more have a
Lower bar.
lower bar, and that's counterintuitive.
That does. Yeah, I like that. The paradox of dating. Higher ick, lower bar.
Higher bar, less icks.
Maybe.
Is that the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Higher bar, less icks.
Because you're just not going out with those people. that
Right,
on
and
the
you're
fence
more
about.
excited for the people that
'Cause
you are.
I
out
do
with.
believe you only get the ick about someone you're on the fence about. If you're
I'm with you.
truly, really into them, you're not getting that feeling.
Totally agree.
All right, let's do an email.
Let's do it. Hey J&J, Happy New Year. Well, finally someone said it.
On 21st.
Longtime listener and subscriber of the podcast, Jared. I actually met you at one of your stand-up shows last summer. You couldn't have been nicer or funnier.
Wow. Is that not the ultimate
Finally.
compliment?
That is the compliment. No, if I die and there's been some deaths recently in like the comedy community,
Mm-hmm.
and people are like, oh, he was the nicest. Oh, I would
You'd love that?
no, I would fucking hate it.
Oh.
Hilarious. When I die, Jared was hilarious.
So you want
okay?
funnier or nicer in the other opposite.
Get out of here with nice.
You don't want anything but nice.
I don't give a fuck. I want hilarious, and you won't believe what he did for me this one time. I want those
That's
stories
nice.
told. No. He was a nice guy. Don't even post about me at all.
Why are men are so opposed to being labeled as nice?
Yeah, we
I've
don't
seen
like
that
it.
across the
Yeah.
board. I don't understand it.
Because it's not a compliment. It's a nothing. It's a nobody. Nice is nobody to me.
To men.
To men. To me. Me. I'll speak for me. And
I mean,
men
I've heard that, but
probably-
I've heard that before, like this disdain for being thought of as nice. No,
Yeah,
men
you're
don't
not
want
dynamic. You're not. You've taken no chances. You're just nice. I got nothing else to say.
I hope you give eulogies.
I don't know. It's just like, you die and someone's like, what a nice guy. That's your legacy?
People, yeah.
You went on stage every night and no one's like, hilarious. I laughed. I pooped my pants
That's what
from
you
this guy.
want. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Play this at my
So
funeral.
what if they were like hilarious, kind of an asshole? Are you okay with that? You prefer that to just
I prefer
really-
that. That's like, to me, that's like, if everyone loves you, then you didn't really do much.
Okay.
Like,
What if everyone thinks you're an asshole?
Yeah. it's tough too.
All right.
I don't know. I there's got to be an element of like,
Couldn't have been nicer. And you should start being less nice then, because she said you couldn't have been nicer.
I'm a nice guy. I just don't want to be described as nice.
You just don't want to be.
No, I don't
Okay.
want to.
You want that to be the least interesting thing about you, is that you're nice.
That's a great way to
Got
put
it.
it.
Okay.
On to the question.
She wrote that as if she could tell
She could
that we would be going off on a 5-minute tangent about that.
about nice guys. I had a rather strange interaction with a match on Hinge. After only sending a few messages back and forth, and over the course of only a few hours, the person I matched with sent a long message seeking reassurance because he was feeling anxious and felt I had the potential to be important. See screenshots below. Should we do the screenshots first?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll be
Okay.
him, you be her.
Cool.
Happy New Year! Smiley face.
Happy New Year to you, too. Any exciting plans?
Let me just start with, this is a great opening.
Happy New Year?
People talk shit on Happy New Year. How was your weekend? I think she was attracted enough. I think it's great that she said, any exciting plans? That's a great second message.
Yeah.
I just want to give her props because you've opened it up.
I mean, it's not exactly groundbreaking, but
I'm
sure,
saying,
yeah.
we hate there's so much public hate on like, how was
Well,
your weekend
I
and
mean,
Happy New Year?
Because everyone hates all these nice people talking about
These nice
saying nice.
fucking losers. Okay. I had an early dinner at my parents' house, watched Gilmore Girls with one of my roommates who just got back from a cruise,
A lot of detail.
and preparing to watch the last 3/5 of La La Land, 3/5 of La La Land while eating popcorn from Trader Joe's. What are you up to? He gave a lot to grab onto.
He did. I would say a little too much detail.
Yeah, I like the Trader Joe's tidbit.
Sure, I would have said
3/5
the
of
second
La La
half.
Land.
I would have said
Was
the
this
second
guy a
half.
mathematician? Yeah.
Right. I would have said second half of La La Land. I would have said watched Gilmore Girls with one of my roommates. I don't need to tell you that they just got back from a cruise.
No.
What am I supposed to do with that?
What boat were they on? Yeah.
Sounds like an eventful night, haha. I went out with some friends in Fenway.
As far as my evenings go, it was unfathomable.
What is this, the
What is
Gilded
he?
Age?
Yeah, what is he, Willy Wonka? As far as my evenings go, it was unfathomably uneventful. Unfathomably?
Yeah.
Unfathomably?
Get out of here.
Spell check has ruined us.
That's an ick.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck this guy anymore. I was incredibly moved, as always, by the end of La La Land, though so sobering. I have a question. Already?
Ha ha ha. I've only seen it once years ago, and I may have an answer.
She's been great
Yeah.
so far.
She's being playful, but not really reacting to all of his weirdness.
Yeah, right. What are you doing next weekend?
I have my sister's bridal shower. How about you?
Congratulations on your sister getting married, smiley face. When's the shower? And then he sends in a second message. Can I disclose something to you? At that moment, my
You're trying to
blood.
disclose something to me. I would be bracing for a dick pic.
Oh my God.
Can I disclose something
Here
to you?
it comes. Just sitting there like face. About to see a close up of some balls. I'm only asking because it's entirely relevant. I don't think it bears weight in your decision to continue with our conversation or not, but it pertains to our conversation. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
I would be out also at this point. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm out but curious. I
Yes.
want the rest.
Well, maybe she does too, because she says, "Of course, please do."
yeah, she's okay. So here's his message. So I'm someone who experienced
Just the length of it.
the
It's like-
length.
You cannot
wa-
send a message that long on
I
a
want
dating app.
he would
You
never
don't
come
even
on
have
the-
her number yet.
Right. And you're 3 messages in. This
my
is
God.
you've never even gotten past the wedding shower. You mentioned Trader Joe's once. I would love to have him on the podcast. Like, let's
Yes,
talk about
if you're
this.
listening.
No, he's I can tell he's not the type to come on a podcast based on this message.
If
You
you
ready?
are listening and you want to defend yourself,
Come on
UUP
in.
at Betches.com.
So I'm someone who experiences perhaps slightly more anxiety than the average bear, which I navigate mindfully, and very infrequently do I experience the urge to reassure and seek. Let me start this over. He wrote this like a fucking. It's like Yoda.
It's like he's writing it like he's 70 years
Reassurance
old.
do I seek?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he's like Gary Turner.
Right. It's crazy.
And the average bear? What the fuck are you talking about?
Unfathomable. So I'm someone who experiences perhaps slightly more anxiety than the average bear, which I navigate mindfully, and very infrequently do I experience the urge to reassure and seek. What I find interesting is that I chat with and go on dates on here with women fairly regularly, but I seldom feel any urge to reassurance seek. For some reason, though, maybe because I think you're pretty, the Jewish component probably also helps. Your profile, your demeanor, and the little conversation we've had makes me anxious, which makes me think you have the potential to be important. It's a feeling, not to be overstated, but difficult to completely ignore.
Okay.
That was a fucking...
I would get a restraining order at that point. That's
right.
crazy. Because I feel like you're important. What is he, a con man?
Right.
You look like the type of person who's an important chap.
Yeah, he's an African prince.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing this with me. I want to respond appropriately, so I just need some time to gather my thoughts.
That's her collecting her
Like-
things
like,
to
like
leave.
slowly inching back
Right.
in her chair.
You're right. Sounds good. Have you seen the musical In the Heights? Dude, you can't.
It's not a smooth transition.
That's not how this goes. You just literally had a therapy appointment with her. You can't go. Have you been to the movies lately?
Yeah, she like table that. No.
That's an example of how I would usually not comport myself with women. I would have given you time to write a response. I'm okay though. I'm just curious. I'm acting very out of the ordinary in this now monologue. Ha ha.
Oh my god. This
So-
guy is like insane.
He lost it a little bit. It's okay.
This is, when people talk about having game, I think this is the opposite.
Right. This isn't Riz.
This is not a Riz discussion.
This is nerd. What's the opposite of Riz?
Ick.
This is ick.
I don't know, I guess.
Dry.
Yeah. Not Riz.
Flaccid.
Anti-Riz.
Yeah, this is the anti-Riz.
Anti-
Listen, I feel for him because he's obviously just having a moment. Obviously, and and it's playing out in real time. So I'll go back to her email.
Her email is basically about she's just describing what the messages were.
I thought this was a bit strange, again, considering we'd barely messaged and have never met. Before I really got the chance to address his concern, he sent a bunch of nervous messages. I got weirded out, didn't respond, and unmatched him. That's the good
standard.
move. Yeah. For context, I'm a female. He's a male. Are both in our mid to late 20s. I will also preface this by saying my responses kind of suck because I didn't think so. Because A, I wasn't interested to begin with. Well, okay. B, I was nursing a pretty bad New Year's Eve hangover. I thought her messages were fine.
They were fine. Yeah.
Anyways, mostly curious of your thoughts and perspective. Signed, New Year, New Ick. What do we think?
This guy needs dating help more than anyone I've seen.
Right. And
not to say those feelings are invalid. I can understand feeling like, oh, I got a match that I'm pretty excited about. But the message is far too much, far too soon into dating. There's absolutely nothing that they've built. Like
Right.
you need to have something before you start oversharing your feelings in that way.
right. And this is like, I guess if I was to look a little deeper
Mm-hmm.
than maybe they're looking for, this is a result of people using these buzzwords to
Right.
like have built-in excuses for why it doesn't work out, to like, like if you talk about your,
What kind of reassurance did he even want from her?
I don't know. I mean, obviously this is one person. This is an
Right.
extreme example. But I'm saying, like, I guess the thing is, like, the idea that, like, oh, this vulnerability, he's using words he's heard
Oh,
other
okay.
places.
Right.
Like, he, to say that, like, I get the anxiety thing, like, now that there's not a lot of, he's basically we've taken away the shame of being like, I get anxious. And he's
People
using
need
it.
to get less vulnerability and be more ashamed of themselves.
I think so.
That's your platform.
Well, it's a little too early.
Of course, yes, definitely.
Later,
definitely.
listen,
yes.
if they were,
that you have to do it right. It's not just like you can't just. That doesn't mean you're not doing it right.
well, he's doing this to not feel any hurt,
Right.
and it's a shield. It's actually not vulnerability. It's, I'll tell you how anxious I get. I think you're so important. I think you're more than the average bear. So I'm gonna put this all out there so that you know how important this date is to me, and you go on it knowing this is for real, as opposed to my other dates, which were for fake.
Right.
And it's like, to me, that's him adding like nets underneath the Tightwire Act. Like, this is safety.
Yeah.
He's building as safe a date as possible because he's excited about her.
Yeah.
When he could have just been like, had the conversation, asked her on a date, been like, because everything he says is actually true. When he's like, I see your profile, I just feel like we're gonna get along.
Right. There's nothing
You're
wong
Jewish,
with feeling
I have
this
these,
way
right.
in
All
your
these
mind.
feelings are
Yes.
natural and okay.
Yes.
These are feelings I've had. Oh, I can see.
Sure. Yeah. That's what I'm
We
saying.
have-
He didn't say anything that I feel like is inaccurate or bad to feel.
Right. But these are things you say when you kind of earn being able to say them.
That's the whole thing. It's
Right.
like that's the lack of social tact, is not understanding that the connection is not where it would need to be for you to share that. Or the
Right.
investment in each other is not where it would need to be for anyone to have any context to. I don't even understand what he's looking for from her.
It's not fair to her.
Right.
It's
Like
not
reassure.
fair.
That's what I'm saying. But when he's like, he's reassurance seeking, what is he seeking reassurance about?
I guess to let her know that, like, if we go on a date, like, you know, I like you.
But he
Wait,
might not
it's like
like
a
her.
narcissism.
That's the other thing. It's like he might not even like her. He doesn't even know her.
Right. Well,
That's the part that's like that's not really vulnerable. It's not like he like got to like, you actually know me and you think it's like someone saying if he said I love you, it's like, what do you mean? You don't actually know me.
right.
It's
Well,
fake.
it's manipulative.
Yeah.
If you really, and I don't think he means to do that. I think in service of he only cares about his own feelings. He doesn't care about hers.
Does this work on anyone?
I think to a lesser degree it works. I think, there's lesser versions. Hey, this has been like an amazing conversation. Like, I really feel like this is something different.
Right.
Before going
You're
on the
special. You're very
Right.
important.
date. He just wrote it wrong.
Right.
There's ways, to me, this is taking kind of tropes,
And overdoing them.
yeah, and using them to the advantage of, like, and again, what you're
Right.
saying, like, he doesn't know. They go on 3 dates, they fuck, and then we get an email from her being like, he said all these things that said I was important.
Right. Well, that's why it feels like
That's what-
predatory.
Right.
Because you're like trying to say what you think the person wants to hear. Although I do think that anyone with any kind of, I don't think he has bad intentions.
No.
I just think it's not done well enough for him to have bad intentions. Like, I do think there, like you said, there's people who were like, oh, like you're a knockout. I think that we would like have like such a great time. Like, I think that this feels different or whatever.
Right.
That might work in a lesser degree, which does feel more predatory. This is almost so bad that I don't think it could have been.
Right. No, I'm with you. Like, the idea that, like, he all of a sudden becomes this guy who's like, let's come back to my place and fuck. Like, I don't
Right.
think he's going to be that guy.
Although it does sound like he could have copied and pasted this.
It does.
It's nothing to.
It sounds like it was AI produced. All the
Right.
words are kind of in weird orders. I would say, it's just annoying. Like, I don't know what she wants us to say.
Yeah, I wish he was writing in so we could give him advice
right.
about how to tone this down.
Well, also, like, I also don't think it's so weird to be like, have a few back and forths and think the things he thinks and then go, hey, I know this is like a quick conversation, but your profile seems like someone I'd get along with. Want to get drinks tonight? Like,
Yeah,
it could have gone that way.
that's
It
what I'm
didn't.
saying. That
Yeah.
would have been fine.
Right. And even that's a little manipulative, I guess, if you think about it. Like,
I mean, if
but
that's
kind
if that's
of-
how you feel, then like that's how you feel.
Right.
It's not like this is just like
That's not
making
saying-
the whole thing so intense.
right. And that's not saying you're very important.
If someone said that to me like at a bar, I would be like, ugh.
right.
I can tell you're very important. Like, it's just no
Yeah.
sense of like
Anxious the app makes me now.
just like no social skills.
Yeah. So, and listen, you're going to come across that on dating apps because they're built for people to have safety.
Yeah.
So someone who likes safety is going to try and create more safety. And that's what I think he's doing. Like,
Yeah. He needs
this
to
has
take
made
it
me
back
anxious.
3 notches.
Yeah. But we can't speak to him. We can only speak to you, which is like, you know, that's the thing. Like, he's not listening to this podcast. I don't think.
He should.
You know, go rematch him.
If this is you, we'll do an SOS episode. If this is you and you're sending out this kind of shit.
Right. Email in. Well, we solved dating again.
We did it, and we'll be back on Wednesday.
Boom.
The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.